Welcome to my Sun Salutation A variation video. The first flow we'll go through is just a regular Sun Sal A, and you can keep on going with that one if you'd like. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep adding on progressions as we go. You can start at the plank, or you can start standing. I kind of like start standing, get my forward fold in there. One thing to note is to go kind of like a moderately fast pace. I'm going to do 2 breaths, but you want to get some, especially if you're doing this cold, you want to get some blood into your tissues to let your flexibility get warmed up. The warmer those muscles, the more elastic it is, especially if you think of your hamstring. At first it's going to be kind of tight, not going to want to move as much, and then as you get that blood flow and the muscle warm in there, it stretches a lot easier. That's also why we're going to do some repetition of these movements. But just kind of thought I'd note that, and then as you progress through, maybe you go faster, and then I always like to do a lot deeper holds towards the end, and really get that strength and deep elastic stretch in there. But without more explanation, we'll take a deep inhale in. I'm going to do a sideways for you, so this is going to be your mountain. Inhaling, hands up. I like to grab a wrist or have my hands come together, reach back, extending your back a little bit, but really focus on bringing your chest up to the ceiling, and then exhaling down towards your toes. Use your forward fold. Really inhale halfway, exhale lower. And the good key here is not to stretch as deep as you can off the bat here. I know I might be a misconception getting really deep into this at first, but it's all about your range of motion. Alright, plant, step back into your plank, deep inhale in. I let my hands right underneath shoulders. Exhale lower, inhale upward dog, toes tuck. Exhale down. This one you could have done an elbow too. Hands underneath shoulders, push it into your downward dog. And for this one, I like to inhale, look into those hands. Exhale down to the toes. That neck loosen up, push through those shoulders. And pedal out the feet a little bit. Halfway for your forward fold, exhale down. Inhaling all the way up. Do your back bend if you want it. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Taking your time. Sometimes if you get lightheaded, you might need to slow down a little bit, or just make sure that you're breathing in the right breaths. So inhaling and up, exhaling down. Come that halfway. Exhale deep. First set of these, I keep my shoulders back. Now that I've kind of gotten a little bit of back extension work with those mounts, I let my shoulders kind of pull forward a little bit more. Stepping back into that plank, shoulders pull back. You can see my spine along with hips. Deep inhale in. Slow exhale out. I realize I only did 1 breath on the first one. The key here is you can get your feet a little bit wider if you want to need that stable base. Helps get those glutes in there a little bit more. Exhale lower. Got your elbow or your arm extended, upward dog. down, hands underneath shoulders, push into that downward dog, push those hips back, reach. Okay, so last time we did up and down with the neck. This time you're going across, inhale, left shoulder, exhale to the middle, inhale, right shoulder, exhale, middle. And then if you want, you can, I'll line up my pedals too. Left heel down, inhale, left shoulder. You can hold a little. I always go in through that nose, out through the mouth to release. Inhale, right side, right heel down. Exhale, stepping back up. Okay, this time we're going to go into a sunflower, so you're going to inhale. Elbows come, hands come to elbows. Exhale, lower. Okay, this one is important with the breathing so you don't get lightheaded because you're coming up and down. So it's going to be right shoulder turning across to left hip, inhaling up, reaching, rotating left shoulder across to right hip, exhaling down. And I always get that stretch kind of right in those obliques as you're rotating those shoulders across. I like 3 per side on this one. Okay, left shoulder, right hip first. Exhale, rolling up. Turning right shoulder, left hip. And everybody might look a little bit different in this. Rotation wise, I can go pretty far. I can almost turn behind myself. Okay, if you can plant, otherwise inhale halfway for your forward fold. Exhale, stepping back. And I realize some of you probably can't get down like that. Just do your best that you can to go into that plank as easy as, or as flowy as you can. So now your hands are going to be in narrow, still underneath your shoulder. Taking a deep inhale in. Exhale, left foot is stepping forward. You can always keep this knee down too for a little less resistant or a little less intensity. And then I will squeeze right glute down. And you'll feel that kind of like in that inner thigh, especially on this left side and that right side. You get a little bit of hip flexor, bit of quad, pushing that right glute down. If you want a little extra onto this, because this is going to be just a one-sider type thing, and we'll move on. Inhale and coming up. And that's where you really start to get the pull on the right side. Stepping back. Inhale. And when you're ready, you can have that hand there. Inhale, hold, keep the left glute tight. I like going 3 here. It's about that controlled breathing. In. Pushing downward dog. And then left leg will inhale up. You can keep this as a three-legged, or you can open up into that scorpion. I will point that toe down and away, or plantar flex, and then open that hip up. I don't need to hold that one all that long. This one you feel right in that inner thigh, along that hip, in the ab area. Inhaling up. Exhale, kick back. Inhale, walk it up. Okay, now that we've done a lot of forward folds and hamstring stretching, probably notice that you can get pretty far down. This is where you start to put those hands down if you can. Not a big deal if you can't. You just work your range of motion, focus on your breathing. Inhale half. Focus on how those hamstrings feel like a rubber band, stretching, lengthening and shortening. Okay, stepping back into that plank. This is kind of like set 3. So your relaxation set is kind of how I look at it. Deep inhale in. Slow exhale out. Squeeze on those armpits, shoulders tight. Maybe your feet are a little bit wider. Get those glutes in there. And exhale, lower. Squeezing those elbows back. Getting those back muscles engaged. Tuck the toes. Inhale up. You're working that low back. Back extending, chest is coming up. Inhale. Stretch that core, shoulders kind of push down like a dip. Exhale, lower. Okay, this time you're pushing into a child's pose. So I like to just kind of push through my heels and my hands. Knees slide out wide on the mat. Inhale and reaching those fingertips up. And we can get your lats in there, so if you walk your hands out to the left side, that's gonna stretch right. And just think slow in through that nose, slow out through the mouth, let that heart rate come down. Deep inhale in, and as you exhale, we're walking across. into the cat and cow. I'll then flex my toes. So I'm always kind of conscious of where I'm having my toes, tops of my feet down, and then toes flexed, so get your calves in there. Front is gonna be kind of stretching with the feet down, plantar flex where the back of your calves are working, and then flex toes, that's gonna be stretching. So, just a little tip there for you. Inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, pushing shoulder blades forward, rounding, tucking tailbone under, hips. I think I held my breath on that one. Exhale as you're pushing into that cat. Inhale, round. So feel the movement of the stretch moving down your spine. And for any of these in this last little section, you can hold longer. Okay, from here, coming up to kneeling. Okay, now I like to still keep my toes flexed for this one. Starting by opening up chest wide, hands wide, squeezing from those elbows, shoulder blades together. So opening up that chest. And as you exhale, flipping thumbs down and back, squeezing the shoulder blades a little bit harder. As you inhale, bring that chest up. So some of you might just be here. Otherwise, if you can reach the camel, go in here. And you are back extending kind of like an upward dog. Chest is sent to the ceiling. I try not to do too much with my neck. My knees are slipping. The main thing here is this is your deep shoulder. Shoulders open, not together, kind of like that. Open up, chest to the ceiling. But not so much that you can see the wall behind you is one of the cues I've heard in that, which I kind of like. I kind of keep my glutes just a little bit tight for that coordinate, or for that stable base. You kind of come back forward out of it like you're rolling ribs to hips. Keep inhaling your plank account while just going downward dog. Exhale, downward dog. This is kind of an optional ending. I didn't get too much glute stretching. Inhale, left, right leg up. Then right knee is coming to the elbow, left ankle, or right ankle to the left knee, or left hand. And then I will kind of, to get into my pigeon, I'll kind of scoop my back leg back into that. As you kind of see, I'm getting that stretch of my front hip, and then I'll come down. Versus like some people are really tight, they can't get their knee all the way up. That would be one way to get a little bit more into that stretch. And then you might need to stay arms extended. I got pretty flexible hips and been working on this one a little while. At first I had to stay arms extended, I wasn't comfortable, and then over time I was able to get right into the down of it. The main thing is start small and then add your progressions into it. If you walk your hands out, come down with the head, that starts to get it a little bit more. And even if you gotta go through a couple of sets of these where it's shorter range of motion, that's better than just trying to go right into your heavier or a little deeper progression or deeper range of motion. Okay, left hand down, right hand down. left toe up, coming up kind of almost like onto like a tippy toe, three-legged plank to some degree. Sliding that leg back, then you're in regular plank again, deep inhale in, exhale, hips push back, left leg inhale up, exhale as left knee comes to the left hand, and left ankle to the right hand. Side feels a little tighter, and take your time into that. Forward a little bit, the head comes down. Deep inhale in. Exhale, hands come up. My toe kind of naturally got up first there. Okay. Now I'm ready to kind of lean forward and push from my toe, slide that leg back, and then I'll just end there. One that I'll kind of sometimes end with, and just kind of as I talk, is just both feet flat. So you might need to be like forward a little bit onto that before you get there, but this would be maybe your ending stretch there. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to trying to be a little more consistent with your yoga videos.